I'm getting tired of streaming services, and the odds are, so are you. And it's weird because they were supposed to be a straightforward solution to the dominance of cable television. How do we bring an affordable option that also contributes the convenience of the internet to streaming movies? Well, you create a streaming service, but it feels like these services have become what they set out to destroy. Introducing new subscription models with ads included and ever-rotating libraries of content that seem to change daily, that affordability and convenience that used to exist has just become an annoyance. Trying to figure out what movie to watch is a common thing on movie night. When you pick one and you find out it's on a streaming service you've never heard of and don't have access to, it kind of ruins the night. It seems like the only way to combat this is to share subscription services. But with these platforms cracking down on this recently, all while raising the price, I'm starting to feel taken advantage of. I really think that's what it comes down to. I feel like these companies are manipulating me. It's about value, but how is it valuable when you're paying $100 for 6 different platforms? I put in all this money, but I have no control over what they hold, how often they rotate through content, and most importantly, I don't own any of it. This video isn't about dumping your streaming services. That would be pretty disingenuous of me given the fact that I have access to almost all of them. The point of this video is to talk about a product that I think is unbelievably undervalued and often overlooked. And it's ridiculously fun to collect. Blu-rays. Now don't get me wrong, there are a lot of videos like this on YouTube, but I think a lot of them seem to overcomplicate the difference between DVD, Blu-ray, and 4K. They get way too much into the technical side of things rather than the appeal of collecting to begin with. The point is making an argument for the format that is Blu-ray, and why I think collecting physical media is so important. Welcome to the History Closet. So look, if the point of this video is to get you to start collecting Blu-rays, I think it's important to make a distinction between the discs you're gonna see on the shelf. First and foremost, DVD, Blu-ray, and Ultra HD Blu-ray are very different things. They might look the same, but they're actually all different storage sizes. You can play a DVD on a Blu-ray player, but you can't play a Blu-ray on a DVD player. You also can't play a 4K Ultra HD disc on a standard Blu-ray player. You need a special 4K player for that. This is why I think Blu-ray is the ultimate format. You don't need the highest end technology, and it's not as outdated as a DVD. DVDs as a format do not hold that much information. The Blu-ray Disc Association created the Blu-ray to combat this issue. As we got 1080p TVs, higher quality HD content was able to be displayed using blue violet light. The Blu-ray Disc Association created a new format. That's why it's called Blu-ray. Then about 10 years ago, we started to get affordable, easy to access 4K TVs. The Blu-ray disc could not hold enough information for a 4K film, so the Blu-ray Disc Association, still them, created the Ultra HD Blu-ray. This was able to store an immense amount of content onto one single disc, and why they're so expensive. That's why Blu-ray discs are such a great value. They're cheap, Blu-ray players are cheap, and even if you have a high-end 4K TV, your Blu-rays are still gonna look fantastic. It's a great balance between quality and they're super affordable. Okay, with all this history out of the way, let's get back to the point of this video. In this dystopian world where everything seems to be built on a subscription-based model, it may seem like you can enjoy that content whenever you want, but only if you maintain that subscription. Think about purchasing a movie on Amazon for a second. You may feel like you own that film. You bought it, it's in your library, you can go on and access it at any point. Because you don't physically own anything, you're basically purchasing access. That's the beauty of the physical format. When you own a Blu-ray disc, you own a copy that you can touch, interact with, put into a Blu-ray player, and watch right directly onto your TV. You own it. Now look, I do think it's important to bring up this conversation around physical ownership when we're talking about owning Blu-ray, but it's really not the primary reason that I do it. The beauty of owning your own media isn't just that you own it, it's that your collection is a representation of you. Instead of letting a corporation decide what you have access to, or an AI algorithm try to understand what you like, your shelf, film by film, is unique, and it's yours. It's going to Goodwill and buying a $5 Blu-ray player, going to your local CD and record store, and feeling that rush of excitement when you stumble across a movie you fell in love with when you were a child. It's nostalgic, it's special, and it's waiting to be enjoyed.